The secret touch that will leave her speechless and craving for more. How many times have you felt like you're doing everything possible to attract a woman, yet she doesn't give you the attention you deserve? You've become the type of man who gives and gives, but never receives. Today, I'm going to teach you something different. Something that will completely change how she perceives you and how she reacts to you. But first, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because this content is going to transform you, and believe me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Let's talk about that forbidden touch. It's not just physical contact. It's something much deeper, something beyond what you can imagine. But listen, if you don't change your mindset first, if you continue being the insecure man who doubts every step he takes, none of this will work. We're not talking about empty tricks here. We're talking about understanding what truly drives a woman's desire and how you can be the one who controls that situation. 1. How to activate her desire in seconds with an unexpected touch pressure. Let's get to the point. When you're with a woman, the problem for most of you is that you don't understand how to handle physical contact. It's not about touching her all the time, being insistent. That's disgusting and desperate. It's about applying pressure at the exact moment in the exact place. How do you do it? With precision. A quick, almost imperceptible touch on her arm or lower back at a moment she least expects. That, my friend, sends a signal to her brain that confuses her, leaving her wanting more. But if you do it wrong, if you do it clumsily or insecurely, you ruin everything. 2. The secret of varying temperatures in your hands to maximize her physical response. Now, let's talk about something most people don't even consider. Temperature. Yes, you heard that right. The warmth or coldness of your hands can trigger reactions in her body that she can't even control. You don't have to be a seduction machine, but you can control how your touch feels. If your hands are too cold, her body will tense up immediately. If they're warm, her skin will react in a completely different way. Learn to play with this. Sometimes a warm touch followed by a cooler one is all you need to make her feel that electric surge running down her spine. 3. Use the rhythm of your breathing to synchronize tension before contact. Many of you don't even realize you're breathing awkwardly when you're near a woman. It's pathetic. Breathing is crucial. If you breathe fast and shallowly, she'll notice, and not in a good way. But if you know how to control your breathing, if you synchronize your rhythm with hers, you're creating a connection before you even touch her. Make her feel your presence, not just physically, but with the rhythm of your breathing. This generates tension, a tension that increases her desire without her even understanding why. 4. The contact points technique. Key areas that increase her pleasure without words. A woman's body is like a map, full of strategic points that most men have no idea how to explore. You have to know where to go and when. It's not about the obvious erogenous zones everyone knows. It's about those small contact points like the edge of her ear, the curve of her neck, or the lower part of her back. These places, when touched correctly, generate a pleasure so subtle yet so intense that she'll be completely hooked. But of course, you have to do it confidently. If you do it wrong, everything falls apart. 5. How to use an intentional pause between touches to generate intense desire. Here's one of the biggest mistakes men make. They don't know when to stop. They believe that contact should be continuous, that once they start, they can't stop. What a big mistake. The key lies in the pauses. A pause at the right moment creates an expectation that generates much more desire than any continuous touch. It's like stretching the tension between the two of you. She will feel it, she will need it, and when you finally touch her again, her body will respond in a completely different way. 6. Master the use of the withdrawal touch, so she seeks more contact immediately. The withdrawal touch is one of the most powerful techniques you can use. Do you know what it is? It's when you touch her briefly, only to withdraw your hand immediately before her brain has time to process it. This creates a feeling of incompleteness, something that will leave her wanting more. It's like giving her a taste of something incredible and then taking it away before she can fully savor it. She will want more, I guarantee it. 7. Increase her adrenaline by subtly switching between firmness and softness. This is a mental game. Most men only know one level of intensity. Either they're too firm or too soft. But the true master of seduction knows how to alternate between both. A soft touch on her cheek, followed by a firmer pressure on her waist, makes her body respond in a completely different way. The key is not to be predictable. Play with her perception, make her never know exactly how the next contact will be. 8. How to incorporate micro-movements in your fingers that trigger an electric response in her skin. This is where precision comes in. It's not enough to just touch her. You need to know how to move your fingers. Small movements that she barely perceives consciously but that her body registers. A slight twist of your thumb on her wrist, a gentle pressure on the inside of her elbow. These micro-movements activate the nerves in her skin in a way she's never felt before. But you have to do it right, you can't be clumsy. 9. The mental trick of reverse visualization, to anticipate her reaction before the touch. This trick is psychological. Before you touch her, visualize in your mind how she will react. Don't do it randomly. Plan the outcome. Your mind controls more than you think, and if you can clearly visualize the response you want, your body will act accordingly. She will feel that confidence, that control, and will react exactly as you anticipated. But if you doubt, if you're not clear about what you want to achieve, her body will perceive it, and I assure you, you won't get the response you're looking for. 10. How to use your own body's pulse to influence her excitation rhythm. Your body is a tool that most of you don't know how to use. The rhythm of your pulse, the way you move, all of that influences how she feels. If you're too tense, she'll be too. If you're relaxed but controlled, her body will follow that rhythm. Learn to control your own pulse, to move your body in a way that influences her physical state. This isn't just about contact. It's about total control of the situation. If you've made it this far, my friend, comment below with the word 100% or something similar to let me know, to confirm that you've received the knowledge from the video so far. For more interesting topics, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it later. Let's continue. How to awaken her deepest pleasure using only your mouth. Alright, let's get started right away. If you think that just kissing is enough, you're fooling yourself. That's the mindset of an average man. The one who believes that simply moving his lips will leave an unforgettable impression. It's not like that. Do you want to know how to make a woman remember every moment she spends with you? Do you want to leave a deep mark on her mind and body? Then you need to learn how to use your mouth in a way that goes far beyond the typical kiss. And remember, it's not just about technique. It's about how you use your presence, your energy, and your ability to control the situation without her even realizing it. This is a serious topic, and I want you to understand it from the start. What I'm about to tell you is not for the mediocre. If you want to be just another guy who only knows how to kiss in a basic and routine manner, you'd better stop reading now. But if you're truly willing to learn what you need to awaken her deepest pleasure, then pay attention, because I'm going to teach you how to turn something as simple as your mouth into the most powerful tool you have to excite her, seduce her, and yes, make her crazy about you. So let's get to the point. 1. The strategic use of long pauses between kisses to intensify desire. Let me tell you something. No matter how good you think you are at kissing, if you're not making strategic pauses, you're losing 90% of the impact you could have. The mistake many men make is kissing like it's a marathon. Non-stop, without breathing. Fatal error. Long pauses between kisses are what generate tension, what make desire grow exponentially. Why? Because when you stop, you let her body process what she just felt, letting her mind start to anticipate what's coming next. This creates a sense of expectation that elevates everything to another level. Do this while you're kissing her. Suddenly stop. Don't let her guess what's coming. Make her wait. Make her desire you more. Let that pause make her feel that you're in control, that you're the one setting the pace. This will leave her in a state of pleasurable anxiety, wanting you to kiss her again, but without knowing when you'll do it. And I assure you, when you kiss her again after a pause, her response will be much more intense than if you had continued without stopping. Learn to use silence, the pause, as a tool of seduction. That's where true desire is built. 2. How to apply the reverse breath technique to stimulate her senses without direct contact. This is something most men don't even consider. The reverse breath technique isn't about touching her directly with your lips or tongue, but about using your breathing to stimulate her without physical contact. This is pure gold because what you're doing is creating an expectation in her body, an anticipation that makes her react in a much deeper way. How does it work? Get close to her skin, close enough for her to feel the warmth of your breath, but don't touch her. Gently exhale over her neck, behind her ears, over her collarbone, or even over her abdomen. That sensation of warmth without direct contact will send an electric charge through her nervous system. Her skin will goosebump, her body will react automatically. She's waiting for contact, but instead, she only receives your breath. This will leave her in a state of latent excitement, where every inch of her skin is waiting for you to touch her. But you don't do it, not yet. Learning to control that game of expectation and satisfaction is what will set you apart from the rest. 3. The secret map of sensory zones on her skin that respond only to your breath. Most men focus on the same old spots. The lips, the neck, maybe the chest. But there's a secret map of zones on her body that are extremely sensitive to your breath, and most men don't even know about it. These zones are where you can truly make her body react without having to touch her. And when I say react, I mean her mind and body will start to connect in a way she can't control. Some of these zones are behind the knees, the lower back, the insides of her wrists, the jawline, and just below her belly button. These are not obvious places, but they react intensely to the slightest stimulus. If you use your breath in these areas, making strategic pauses and varying the intensity of your breath, you'll be igniting a part of her body she probably doesn't even know she has. It's a subtle trick, but when you do it right, you'll see how her body starts to respond, how her breathing becomes deeper, how her eyes start to seek yours, asking for more without saying a word. 4. Create electrical tension by combining sound and minimal touch on her neck. This is key. Many men underestimate the power of sound. Do you know what a simple whisper near her ear can do? It's like a detonator for her body. But here's the trick. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it and what you do while saying it. Combine a minimal touch on her neck, barely grazing her skin with the tips of your fingers, with the sound of your breath near her ear. You don't need to say anything explicit, just let her feel the contrast between the warmth of your breath and the cold, delicate touch of your fingers. That combination of sound and touch is what will create an electrical tension in her body. Her mind will be processing two different stimuli at the same time, and that's what will awaken every nerve in her skin. The neck is especially sensitive to this kind of combination because it's an area loaded with nerve endings. If you learn to master this technique, you'll be controlling not only her body but also her mind. And believe me, when you have her mind, you have everything. 5. How to use the vibration of your voice near her ears to trigger her deepest pleasure. The vibration of your voice is a powerful tool that few men know how to use correctly. When you speak near her ear, it's not just about what you say but the frequency at which your voice vibrates against her skin. That vibration has a direct effect on her nervous system, and when you combine it with the warmth of your breath, you're creating a stimulus that travels throughout her body. You don't have to speak loudly. In fact, the softer your voice, the better. Let those vibrations do the work. Say her name, tell her something that makes her feel special, but do it in a low tone, almost like a whisper. The key here is that the vibration of your voice will resonate in her ear, and that tingling sensation will travel down her neck, across her back, all the way to her feet. If you do this right, she'll start to feel a wave of pleasure she can't control, all because you knew how to use something as simple as your voice. 6. Use the ghost kiss technique to make her feel you're touching her without actually doing it. This is a psychological trick, and it's incredibly effective. The ghost kiss is when you get close enough to her skin for her to feel the warmth of your mouth, but you don't actually touch her. Her body will be waiting for contact. Her mind will be anticipating pleasure, but what she gets is only the warmth of your breath. This will drive her crazy because you're not giving her what she expects. You're playing with her mind, creating an expectation that leaves her in suspense. Do this on her neck, her back, even her lips. Get close enough for her to think you're going to kiss her, but stop just before doing it. That anticipation is what will ignite her desire. And when you finally decide to touch her, the impact will be much greater because her body has been waiting for that moment with a need she can't control. The ghost kiss is a tool that will put you in total control of the situation, and I guarantee she won't be able to resist. 7. Master intermittent pressure with your tongue to generate a wave of unexpected sensations. This is where real technique comes in. It's not about kissing or licking consistently. That's boring and predictable. What truly awakens a woman's deepest pleasure is the variation in pressure and rhythm. Use your tongue intermittently, changing the pressure with which you touch her. Sometimes soft, sometimes harder. Make her unable to predict what's going to happen next. When you change the rhythm and pressure of your tongue, her body doesn't know how to react, and that's exactly what you want. Don't give her the chance to anticipate your movements. You want her mind and body to always be in suspense, waiting for the next sensation. That's what will generate a wave of pleasure that will run through her entire body. Don't limit yourself to one spot. Explore, change direction, and above all, maintain uncertainty. The key here is to be unpredictable, but with intention. Imagine you're drawing with your tongue on her skin, but instead of following a predictable pattern, you introduce unexpected variations. Sometimes a quick touch, sometimes a slow, deep stroke. This keeps her body alert, creating a constant tension that pushes her further towards the edge of pleasure. Remember, variability is what will make everything feel new and exciting to her. If you can master this technique, she won't be able to resist succumbing to the pleasure you're giving her. 8. Subtly change the direction of your movements to keep her in constant suspense. Another thing most men don't understand is that monotony kills desire. If you keep doing the same thing over and over, her body gets used to it and stops responding. Do you want to keep her on the edge, desiring more? Then you need to learn how to subtly but effectively change the direction of your movements. Don't get stuck in a single routine because that's what mediocre guys do. While you're kissing or caressing her with your mouth, suddenly change the direction of your movements. If you were moving to the left, switch to the right. If you were going down her neck, suddenly move back up towards her lips or her ears. That lack of predictability is what will keep her in a state of constant suspense. She won't know what to expect next, and that will make every touch, every kiss, feel new, fresh, and exciting. Always keep that element of surprise, and she won't be able to stop desiring what's coming next. 9. Control her breathing rhythm with yours to elevate intensity without saying a word. This is something so subtle, yet so powerful that most men don't even consider it. If you can control her breathing, you can control her entire body. How do you do it? Simply synchronize your breathing with hers. If you can breathe at the same rhythm as her, you'll create such a deep connection that she herself won't be able to understand what's happening. Her body will start to follow your rhythm without her even realizing it. Now, once you've synchronized her breathing with yours, break that synchronization. Suddenly, change the rhythm of your breathing and watch how her body adjusts to follow you. This will disorient her in a way that makes her feel out of control, and that's exactly what you want. When she feels she no longer has control over what's happening, that's when her mind and body will completely surrender to the pleasure you're giving her. And you achieve all this without saying a single word, just by controlling the rhythm of your breathing. 10. How to use the echo of your words and sounds to stimulate her mind while you touch her with your mouth. Sound is an underestimated tool. It's not just touch that can trigger pleasure, but also what she hears. When you're close to her ear, the echo of your words and sounds has an amplified effect. Every whisper, every breath is multiplied in her mind, creating a resonance effect that goes beyond simple sound. You're stimulating her mind while you touch her with your mouth, attacking both fronts at the same time, the physical and the mental. Use this to your advantage. Don't just kiss or touch her. While you're doing it, whisper things that you know excite her, but not in a vulgar way. Tell her how you're making her feel, how you're controlling her pleasure, and let those words become part of the experience. The echo of your words in her mind will amplify everything she's feeling in her body. And when you combine that with the touch of your mouth, you're creating a multisensory experience that will leave her completely absorbed in what you're doing. So, do you understand now? Using your mouth isn't just about kissing. If you stay basic, you'll be just another guy, easily forgettable. But if you really want a woman to obsess over you, to feel deep pleasure, to be unable to stop thinking about you even when you're not around, you need to learn how to use your mouth in a way that goes far beyond the physical. You need to know how to play with her mind, with her emotions, with her senses. It's all in the details. The pauses, the breath, the echo of your words, the variation of your movements. This is what makes the difference between an ordinary man and an unforgettable one. The man who masters these techniques not only satisfies a woman, he leaves her wanting more, thinking about him long after they've parted ways. So if you truly want to be that man, stop being predictable, learn to master the art of subtlety, and become a master of desire. If you've made it this far, my friend, comment below with the word 100% or something similar to let me know, to confirm that you've received the knowledge from the video so far. For more interesting topics, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it later. Let's continue.